What's going on? Welcome to Top 3. It's your boy, Leonard Smith Jr.
What up, though? It's Chris Adams.
It's our second episode. We got our guest today. You know him, Rod Benson. Give it up for Rod. What's up, Rod?
I don't think they know me like that.
They don't. You don't think they know you? They're here.
If they don't know you, tell the people. Tell the people something about yourself, Rodrigue.
Man, I'm much taller than Chris and much better looking than Leonard. That's all people need to know.
I don't know how you feel about that, but I will accept that because can't do nothing about a nigga being 6'10".
That is definitive, and looks are subjective. I'm out here fucking. I'm doing what I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it. Some of these hoes love me, but you know they don't. I don't love them because I am in a committed relationship.
There you go. Yes, king. Yes, king.
Yes, committed relationship. I ain't worried about it. You be sexy. You out there and be sexy, dog. Today, you know, on Top 3, we talking about top 3 things, and
I mean, one of the reasons we came up with the idea for Top 3 is with this clown right here.
It was originally it was supposed to be 3 of us, but you know,
three
some niggas are
ornery
busy.
niggas.
I was thinking on the way over here, like, I'm glad y'all still did it. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, nice, I can like just dip in and out.
Exactly.
Like I don't have to be like responsible for another thing.
You can do it whenever you want to.
It's a dope concept.
Yeah. So we've been waiting a few years to do it, but we're finally doing it. And you know, we got Rod Benson on, Jarion if you on the gram.
Jarion
if you're on the gram. Boom though if you're on Twitter. Or boom though if you just an old boom though head.
You know those old boom though heads.
Old boom though heads.
I like you were this close to hitting that boomer.
If you're a boomer, you know him. But you know him because you know him as an athlete and you know him as so many other things.
A writer, an artiste, and it's you know, very accurate for the subject today. We you know, in lieu of our guest, and also I feel like I fall in this category too. Athletes who went to be like, you know, I'm more than just my stock value. I ain't a slave. I ain't no mandingo. I'm getting a little personal here.
I didn't interpret it that way at all.
Oh shit!
No, but we did athletes.
I'm too hot for this.
If I didn't drive here.
We did athletes who moved on to do something else outside of just their sport and expand themselves to do, you know, whatever we perceive that to be. You can be an artist, you can be a business person, et cetera, and the list goes on. And we did it thus far that we all give our 3 first and then go up to 1. And then we submit our top 3 all together.
So we'll give our 3s. We'll talk about, give our 2s, we'll give our 1s, and then we'll make a consistent top 3 for the episode. I feel like, you know, it's tough. Top 3 is tough. That's the whole point.
It's tough.
And I was wavering on some people, and I'm just gonna have to mention someone who didn't make my list. And before I give my top 3, it was Jim Brown. It's Jim Brown. Jim Brown started this whole thing, man. Like, he was, I don't know, he might be one of y'all.
I have a point I'm going to bring up later,
right,
but
cool,
I agree with Jim Brown.
But he didn't make my top 3.
He almost made mine as well.
Okay, he didn't make it. Okay, so yeah, it's just like, he was the first one to be like, nah, fuck this, bro. Like, nigga, do you know who I am? I'm Jim Brown. Like, I got charisma, bro. Like, they out here giving checks in Hollywood, and I don't have to get my head hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, that man made so much money, like, and he didn't have to like go the route that people wanted him to go. And not only the whole acting thing, but then he became an activist. You know what I'm saying? Just like a voice of the community, and just like a cool ass dude who just like show people that like his mind is just as valuable as his body. So, you know, he didn't make my list, but you know, I gotta acknowledge Jim Brown. My number 3, my first 3, this was tough. And yeah, I gotta go because I gotta go with my man. Y'all gonna make fun of me, but my nigga George Foreman, dog. George Foreman, baby.
I get it. Them grills is fire, bro.
28 kids, my
Yeah,
guy.
this nigga has so many kids.
So many, all named George, or some iteration of it.
Yeah,
even the daughters.
He had to. This nigga like lost his because you know, as an athlete, sometimes you don't know how to manage your money, and maybe you mismanage it, or you blow it, or you have 28 kids, and he had to recreate himself and rebrand himself, and he found a business opportunity the amount of food I cooked on a George Foreman grill, this nigga has like 12 different type of grills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he got an air fryer now. Like, this nigga, like,
First of all, I was thinking about that the other day when I was trying to put this list together. I was like, George Foreman has to have an air fryer, right? Like, I feel like it's
And like a set of knives.
right. It's just so synonymous with the brand. It's like
this nigga
I
is-
felt like it was the for sure, and then I was like, I'm not even gonna look it up. I'm just gonna live in the world that he does have an air fryer because I feel like he would have like came up with that idea back in the '90s, and people were like, "Shut the fuck up, it's an oven."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, it's not. Though.
It's so much more.
I just appreciated this. Like, I wonder, like, if any other like business opportunities or ventures, like, we're like, oh, how about the George Foreman printer? It's like, nah, nigga, I know two things: fighting and grilling.
I know how to use these hands, and I know how to cut the other's grill." Okay.
I was just talking yesterday with someone about the idea of like how many people just like literally just do one thing, just found one thing and just made it. And I was thinking about it because there's a dude like, have you heard of the Juice Man?
Who's that?
There's just
OJ?
like no, like OJ the Juice Man is like named after the Juice Man, like this like old white dude with like crazy bushy eyebrows and like white hair,
Yeah.
who like basically like invented juicing like in the 80s and like
Oh,
became
the
rich.
infomercial nigga.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
yes,
just
yes, yes,
and I was
yes,
like,
yes.
all this dude did was just put oranges in a juicer
I thought
and
you were
just set
talking
himself
about-
up for life.
You know the tax dude? He always wore money suits.
Yes.
That's what I'm picturing. You said the big bushy eyebrows. I remember those commercials all the time. He had the crazy glasses that always
Yes.
matched the suit, and he always had
Yes.
money signs on the
was
suit.
always yelling.
and he was like, "Yeah, come down." Like that's what I'm picturing. I was like, he ain't talking about juice once.
But I mean, if you can find that one thing and perfect it,
Yeah.
you can make a lot
that's
of
actually
goddamn
so.
money.
Like I know we're talking about people did many things, but it is so insane if you can be ridiculously successful off of one thing.
Or you could be
It's
like,
like-
or you could be like white and born at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw. Did y'all see
The right
that?
time is not the wrong time hasn't come up yet as far as I've heard.
Have y'all seen that video of the
The
dude?
only time it hasn't been good to be born white is maybe if you were like born back when Russians was just murking everybody. Maybe just
Yeah, in America. I'm thinking of American whites. There's this video. I don't know if y'all saw it, where there's like an old dude and his wife, older couple, and they're in a Bentley. And they're like, "How did you buy this Bentley? How did you make this money?" And then he was like, "Oh, I invented the patent to process credit cards for hospital transactions." So he gets he gets 1 cent
Yeah.
for every single hospital, any type of billing transaction.
Let me ask you this. Have you heard of CC Bill?
What's that?
If you've ever checked out at any porn site, CC Bill is what you pay.
Okay.
I met CC. It's a man. Like his name is like Chris Carpenter or some shit. Like it's not credit card bill.
That's
This
also
real dude, and he has his own like floor at the Body English in Las Vegas. He made so much money
From a patent.
getting a few cents off every bill. Like you walk into his room at the Hard Rock, and it's got like the CC Bill logo in the floor, and there's just like hoes everywhere. It's wild.
I just want to highlight it's not just porn sites. Literally every website uses the
CC Bill. Well, it's mostly used just for porn sites. Like it's not used for regular
On
transactions.
like clothing ones, like if you go to any of those like Shine or any of them shits, they use it.
Oh, I don't buy spicy clothes like you. I don't fit in.
Glasses, bro, it's the best website for glasses,
Bro, no,
You
I
get,
don't trust.
like, 18
I don't
pairs
trust.
for $10.
I don't trust buying shit online. And you know what? I ordered a lemon pepper wet. We're all in the improv with lemon pepper wet. I ordered a lemon pepper wet varsity jacket. Shit never came, bro.
Mine came,
the
bro.
amount of emails I have sent and that have been ignored. And I cannot report them to the Better Business Bureau because they are not an American company. I'm upset.
That's a
So
return on
fuck fans'
karma,
idea.
bro.
Suck my dick, fans' idea. Burn in hell. I have a platform and I'm fucking using it. Fuck you, fans' idea. I just got to say that.
That's
Anyways.
so fucking funny.
Let's get back on this top three. I gave my three.
Quick. I did get mine, so I fuck with y'all. Thank you very much. I got a baseball jersey. It's lemon pepper wet. It's hard as fuck. I appreciate you. Good looks.
Customer service is ass. Anyways, what's your three? Who's your three?
I mean, I kind of approach this a little differently. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
That was going to be my question before you went into yours was how did you go about thinking of the
well, first of all, I think with the same idea, which is that they're athletes who went on to do something outside of the sport that they were famous for.
Exactly.
But also got famous for that other thing.
Yeah.
And so my number 3 is Ryan Lochte. This man
The swimmer?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is the second most decorated swimmer in American history. And all people know him for is lying about getting robbed in Brazil.
But the stab motion is so crazy.
So what else did you do? I got stabbed in Brazil. Oh wait, I didn't. You didn't? No, I didn't get stabbed.
It's like, yo, Ryan, we can easily fact check this. Really? He might be, bro, the greatest.
Nigga, this nigga said Ryan. I was like, what did Ryan Lochte do?
That's what
I was so excited,
bro. I was so confused. I was like, famous for something else. I was like, he was in an episode of 30 Rock. That's all I can think about. Where he was just dumb. Like I was like, what else?
No, he's actually kind of more famous for being like a dumb like frat boy than anything. True. When I say like he's not just like a good swimmer. Only Michael Phelps has more medals than this man, and nobody knows that.
Yeah,
they just know him as a douchebag. Like he successfully rebranded himself
from
a
worst
sport
way
every white person cares about. Every white person cares about fucking swimming, and this man threw it all away. To go try to
Michael
fuck
Phelps still in commercials.
Michael Phelps is still in commercials.
He ain't swam in like 10, 12 years.
Wait a minute. Please tell me y'all saw the commercial with all the celebrities saying ailments that they suffer from. And the first one is the lady, I think, from either Sex and the City or one of those type of shows. And she's like, I have, what's it when you get the
psoriasis?
Rash? Yeah, she was like, I have psoriasis. And then they go to Michael Phelps and he goes, I have depression. after that, they go to, and I have acne. And it's like, wait a minute. You can't just drop that down to acne after a nigga saying, I have depression. The second thing in the commercial is so funny, bro. It's
the most decorated U.S. Olympian. I'm depressed.
I have depression.
They took his weed away, and he said, I can't handle things well.
Wow.
But that's so funny. I didn't even think about it in a negative context, and that's very
I did not
funny.
either, but that's
Ryan
damn.
Lochte.
I'm wondering who else. I mean, because somebody comes to mind very quickly.
If we're considering who didn't make the list, Kurt Schilling barely missed out for Ryan Lochte's spot.
Okay, Kurt Schilling.
Barely missed
for
out
the negative context spot. Okay. Who's
That
your?
should be a completely different list.
Who's your three?
I also said someone who did very well and then did very well in their other lane. But I also wanted to take number 3 because not a lot of people are aware of this fact. And I picked Tim Horton. Very successful hockey player, turned number 2 fucking donut place in the world.
Tim Horton was a hockey player?
Tim Horton, a real man.
Tim Horton is a real man. Tim Horton is a real man who's a all-time fucking hockey player. And then he opened up
name it
Tim
after
Hortons.
me, nigga.
Weirdly, first of all, in Canada, everything's named after the person. Like it's like Tim Hortons or like Steve Nash. What is Steve Nash? Steve Nash owns like a gym. I think it's just called Nash's Gym. I'm getting it wrong. Like Steve Nash Family Gym or something. Then there's like some guy who like walked across Canada with like cancer or some shit. Like I'm serious. Like
Forrest Gump.
It's so
the Canadian.
It's unreal. Like there's a statue of this fool in front of like the BC
cancer
place,
or
like,
some shit.
Like because there's this big statue of just a white guy. I'm like, is this the Canadian Rocky Balboa? Who's this? And everyone's like, oh no,
No, it's Canadian Forrest Gump.
He walked across the country because he had cancer. And my first question was, how?
Nigga, Canada is magical, my nigga.
It's huge. It's cold, and he had cancer. I don't understand.
He said, hey, if I die, I die. I even struggled with that shit, bro. If you already on your way out, he said,
that
why
is
not?
crazy to think that he walked across Canada.
What time of year did he do it?
It had to be the summer.
Start spring? I feel like you got to start spring and then go.
Yeah,
I don't even want to
trail rules.
I don't even want to sound
right. Like you gotta be like, let me get the most
I don't
warm
want to sound
possible,
stupid,
bro.
but like, how long would that take? Would it take 3 months? Would it take a year? Like how?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's worth a Google, but I just know that like this man
It has to be months.
It's like Tim Horton, Steve Nash, and this guy as far as Canadian legends, and
It
then
takes
like
you 7
14
days or
other
something
hockey
in a car.
people.
Like it has to be at least months. If it takes you days in a
Like
car.
if I'm remembering, the Oregon Trail used to take like 8 months, and it was timed specifically to avoid like the harshest winter.
Yeah.
And like the Donner Party like got slowed up, so they had to finish in winter, and that's how they got
Or
fucked.
maybe he picked the most narrow point because people be doing that a lot, and they get like traveled all across, but they pick the most narrow point for you to do.
Still, the narrowest part, Canada to Canada, coast to coast, is pretty fucking long.
It is, but I'm saying if you go towards like, no,
Holy
that actually
shit.
probably fuck you up worst.
Oh.
If you go more towards.
Okay, I mean, this is the first person to walk across Canada. Beresford Grethede in 1895.
No, that's not the guy.
Okay.
This guy had cancer and he walked across.
There's somebody who did it in 1906.
It's probably like the 70s or
It's
80s.
the 70s or 80s.
Feels not that impressive. There's so many people you have to like keep scrolling down the list. It's like 80 people did this shit. He the only one that got a
why people
statue.
see something like, I'm gonna be the first to walk that far.
Also, I feel like he was just depressed and was walking it off, and then they gave this nigga a medal.
There's like 6 people who walked across Canada last year, bro.
In the last year.
Yes.
So I don't know how to find this
Prince
guy.
Albert Man continues to walk across Canada for every child matters. A man and his dog walking across Canada for charity. Oh my God. And then there's a woman and her dog who's walking across, and there's a person with a cart.
Also, fucking, what is his name?
No,
Damn.
Terry Fox.
Terry
Fox.
I haven't seen
I
that.
just
name.
found. So let me show you this statue and why I was like, bro, what's going on with this statue? It doesn't look like someone who could walk across.
What's his
Canada.
leg?
Stop
That's
that.
what makes
Stop
him a legend.
that. Stop
That's
that.
what makes him a legend.
Okay.
First of all, you said cancer. For the people who didn't see the picture, the man is
We'll
leaning.
cut in. Hopefully, the image of the picture will be cut in
Please,
right now.
please,
But
because the man
he's-
is leaning on what looks like an anime
I
leg.
believe
Is that a
he
peg
got
leg?
his leg amputated because of cancer. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So like the
it's
whole thing is like,
pre-blade, pre-tink tink time.
but he walked across
Williams
Canada,
reference.
I think, with the one leg.
Oh, and that leg is metal. It's a metal leg.
Yeah.
Oh,
got
okay,
it,
that
got
makes
it,
a lot
got it.
more
Statue
sense.
did not get back.
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was a statue.
I thought it was
To
just
help it stand
anime
up.
shriveled, and I was like, yes.
I even thought that nigga's leg was really. Yeah.
Yo.
When you get a curse in anime, and it just. It's like, oh no!
You thought he had a fucking stone rod or whatever the fuck.
Yo, bro, I thought this was Game of Thrones. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. So we've got our top.
Wildly different. Tim
George
Hortons,
Foreman,
Jim Brown.
Tim Horton, and
No, his was Jim Brown.
oh,
That
it was
no,
George
Foreman.
Foreman. George Foreman.
George Foreman.
George
was his number
Foreman,
3.
Scott. What is it? Ryan Lochte.
Ryan Lochte and
Tim
Tim Hortons.
Hortons.
Two
Tim Hortons.
white guys in the top 3
Wow.
so far. That's pretty
Who'd have
impressive
thought?
for us.
Who'd have thought? Honestly, who'd have thought?
Full disclosure, that's my last one.
That's also my last one.
One
I
of
had
y'all.
to throw one in there.
Give me your 2.
My number 2 is for a very similar reason, but also taking it to another level of George Foreman, is Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, what doesn't the man do? Even
Damn.
an
That's a
actor,
very good
a
answer.
DJ, a businessman, a host.
Damn.
The man has done it all and done it well. And he's fucking 7'3". Like that's a lot of
Yeah.
crazy stuff to do when you're the biggest human being ever. And he famously blew all of his bread at the beginning and said, I'm gonna get it all back. And he did it in very honorable ways. Like the reason he does the general or whatever is because they were the only people that insured him when he was like young and broke. And so he was like, all right, when I get on, I'm gonna help them out. And like he does that in many ways outside of just frying Charles Barkley, which is the best TV ever. He does a lot of stuff that is to help other people out.
Yeah.
And I think like he just, that's why he's
Damn,
number
you know
2.
what? I'm gonna apologize, Shaquille O'Neal. I'm not familiar with your work. Damn, I'm honestly a little upset at myself that I didn't even think about Shaquille O'Neal
Yeah, me too.
because I still think he's still attached to basketball so much
Yeah.
that it's like being on that show, which he's amazing, and I think that's like the best show on television. It's like one of my favorite things to watch. It's still attached to basketball, but like he does have like the nigga has a printer, like the nigga has.
Bro, you can't go to like any specialty store and not see Shaq selling something in that store.
It's the
Yeah.
reason Shaq's cost why they cost, because he wouldn't fuck moms be able to buy their kids shoes that weren't wax shoes. Like he does a lot of stuff for other people, but he
Yeah.
also gets bands off of it, and you got to respect it.
Yeah.
Like he buys moms.
this man has
groceries.
been in movies.
Yep.
This man has rapped.
Wonderful movie.
Yep.
And he's a DJ now.
He's
has,
DJing at Outside
he
Lands
DJs, like,
this
yeah,
year.
he
He
does,
has his
like,
own
big
festival.
festivals.
He has
Yeah.
his own festival.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He had like it was like a Halloween like scary tour thing. I don't know. This nigga just literally has everything. He owns Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme, like the
lot
most
of them.
famous Krispy Kreme in Atlanta, the one on Ponce. He owns that one, and it burned down, but they rebuilding it.
I like how Atlanta has like specifically famous versions of restaurants that I don't even think about. Like even if there was
They
a
got that
Krispy Kreme
famous
here,
Wendy's
would
that's
you be
owned by
like,
Rick Fox. I'm like,
Exactly.
what?
What's the famous anything? I remember when Magic Johnson had like the
I'm
theater
from
and
Michigan.
the Fridays down in like Inglewood. It'd be like, oh, you been to Magic Johnson's?
Yeah.
like that's a special one. But like other than that, in LA, I can't think of anything that has like. There's like 20 things I hear about Atlanta where everyone like knows them as like, oh, you got to go to the good one, you got to go to the bad one. Like there's not a lot of that in LA.
I mean, Detroit
Yeah,
has
no,
that.
there isn't.
Joe
Which
Dumars,
you would think it
basketball
would be
stadium.
like that, but it's because LA is just so everything is.
I feel like you
popular
also,
and
if you want
famous
to
that-
build something up, you want to build it more not here. You want to go to either hometown or somewhere like you travel a lot and has a sentimental value to you because there are some like it's like trying to build a famous thing in New York. Like there's so many things.
That's what I'm
like,
saying. Celebrity
it drowns
status means
out.
more in those
Right.
cities.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah. I'll give you my number two. My number two, I mean, I don't know. He's an athlete. Is Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Is The Rock? This man is the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Like if you would have said that in
That's
the
wild.
90s, you'd be like, no fucking way. Like you know what I'm saying? This man
Scorpion
owns the XFL. He owns a football league because he like. I almost said got in bed because he started working with Disney. Like when he did that Disney movie, he's like, nigga, The Rock is doing Tooth Fairy Disney movies. Like what the fuck? Yeah. Now he has such a great relationship with Disney that because they are a monopoly and they own everything, that he got to have the XFL on ESPN.
It's got to feel like a flex too on Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon had it first. And then, like, it didn't work. And then The Rock came back with Disney and was like, hold
It's
my
still
nuts.
not going to work, but at least
It's not gonna
Disney's
work.
footing the bill.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if Disney's footing the bill and it's on ESPN, you can keep it around. You know what
That's
I mean?
fair.
Like, it's not going to be comparable to the NFL, but, like, people will watch it if it's on ESPN because it'll just be on.
And I think he has like a decent stake in like Under Armour too. It's
Yeah.
just like, bro, this man
His
is
shoes
just,
are terrible.
Oh, they're terrible.
They will tear your knees up. bro.
Why,
Let me tell
yo,
you
bro?
what,
Why?
they hurt.
Yeah, your knees was destined to be torn up by anything, bro.
That's also true. That's why they've been restructured.
Oh,
But
you
I'm
trying to
also
say
saying,
you trying to
like,
say they the 3 Bs, the triple Bs, the big baller brands?
No, not Big Baller Brand. Anything's better than
Man,
Big Baller
fuck Big
Brand.
Baller Brand. I'm a Bulls fan.
Big
I'm
Baller
pissed,
Brand is
okay?
all bad.
Yeah, people
pissed.
are really blaming LaMelo's whole or
The
Lonzo's
LaMelo
whole career,
ankles and then on his knees.
He even said it though. He said they
Bro,
fucked him up.
if Zoe was on the Bulls these last 2 years, they would be such. I don't know. I'm not gonna say they're like a championship team, but they would
Be
be
a lot
so
better.
much better.
Much better.
They were a lot better with him.
Yeah, a lot better with him. So that's been a bummer. Okay, so yeah, The Rock, just all around. I mean, this man went from wrestling. There's a television show about his life. Just young Rock.
Also,
Like,
played at the U on a very successful U team.
oh yeah, he did. I forgot to mention that. Played football, wrestling. Like this man is apparently is going to be president one day. The idiocracy is coming full circle.
We don't need that. We don't need that.
I said
I hope he
apparently.
doesn't run, so
Yeah,
I
that
don't
would be
find out
insane.
like
I know.
the three. I don't even want to put bad stuff out there that's not true, but you'll hear a bunch of stuff about him that you'll be like, "Damn it, The Rock!
Yeah.
Damn it, Dwayne, President
call him
Johnson."
The
You
Rock.
can
You gotta
tell
call
he,
him Dwayne.
you can tell
He
he's
does
aspiring for more. Like he wants to like own Disney or some shit like that. Like he wants.
Shit, let him.
Yeah.
Go ahead and eat, bro.
Yeah. So that's my two.
My number 2 is Frank Thomas. He was my favorite baseball player growing up, and now he slangs Nugenics like it's dick, baby. And she'll like it too. It's,
Oh
the
my
commercials
God,
are
this
lit.
nigga's a fool,
No,
bro.
you gotta understand. Frank Thomas for me growing up was, I'd say, my favorite baseball player in the early '90s in baseball. Like baseball was bigger than anything. Like I wanted to be Frank Thomas, so it was really interesting to me when he kind of disappeared for a few years and he popped back up with Nugenics. And the thing about Nugenics
Steroids are
is
good, baby.
the reason we all know Nugenics in this room, right?
See,
Nigga has 8,000 commercials. Like, it's not going anywhere. He's making a lot of money clearly off Nugenics.
if you've ever watched daytime TV, you don't not know what eugenics is.
If you ever watch daytime TV or like the NFL network or the NBA network or the MLB network, that shit is on every single
run that
commercial
commercial
break.
to your
If it is
fucking
any type of sports network for men, you are seeing the Nugenics commercial 4 times an hour.
It's
Like,
a lot. It's a lot. I do think the commercials stick, though, also because they're just goofy enough for how good he was at baseball that it's just corny enough that you remember every one of them. Like, I'd be watching them like, how do these two 33-year-old white women know who Frank Thomas is? Like, is that the big hurt over there? And he's like, yeah, it's the Nugenics. You see me. I'm like, these are so good. Look, so bad.
You gotta sell lies to the people
That's
who aren't
hilarious.
Frank Thomas who are buying eugenics.
That is
It's like,
hilarious.
I'm gonna go down to fucking driver range and Cheryl's gonna be like, this guy's taking eugenics. No, she not, nigga.
The shitty part about it, though, is like, I know Nugenics is a lie. I know it's a lie.
We all know.
But I do be like, damn, is my testosterone getting low now that I'm getting near 40?
Damn,
is
Frank-
it getting low?
Frank got that effect on you?
He has a bunch of men questioning where their testosterone levels are at, I believe.
Go to a real doctor. If your testosterone is getting low, which is a thing that affects men inevitably, go to a doctor.
Nah, go to him.
Please don't use
Go to him.
Go to hims.com. Go to hims.com.
Stop by Squarespace while you're there. Is that who sponsors this?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see
Stop
someone
giving free plugs.
at BetterHelp. They're like, nah, don't say our goddamn. Okay, wow, that's funny because Frank Thomas was my favorite player as a child in the '90s. I remember it was a corn pops cereal box, and it came because baseball was so popular with a poster. And on one side was Ken Griffey Jr. and on the other side was Frank Thomas. And I was a fat little nigga, so like I was all about the big hurt, baby. A big nigga up there, hitting home runs out the park. And like he was always my favorite player, and that's funny because he never crossed my mind.
You brought up something important though. Like it was Ken Griffey. People all remember Ken Griffey from that time because he was just like the sweet swing or whatever. But they were like opposite sides of the coin. Like Frank Thomas was just as popular. My brother was lefty. So he'd pretend to be Ken Griffey, and I'd pretend to be Frank Thomas. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. I was just going to say that my favorite baseball player was Pablo Sanchez. Shout out Backyard Baseball.
I was like, what?
I was like,
Fuck is Pablo Sanchez? I don't know that.
the Latin Revolution started so
The
early.
nigga with the yellow cap and the blue bill.
Yeah, look like a baby. Pablo Sanchez was the best character in all
I missed
those
that
games.
one. I missed Backyard
He was
Baseball.
the shit.
Didn't play it.
He's iconic. Hate baseball. That's what that was.
I looked up like a rating of baseball video games like a year ago or something, and like Backyard Baseball was like number 2 or something. Whatever
People
it is,
love that
sports.
game.
it's like super high.
Backyard sports, to this day, some of the best sports video games of all time. Because the controls were intuitive, but also difficult enough. You know what I mean? That you felt like you were actually doing stuff. You had to make decisions that are like decisions you would make in manager mode of like modern video games, but again, watered down enough so that a kid could like it. But you also going back and playing it, because I did this with Backyard Basketball, will have just as much enjoyment playing that game. They're fucking all time. Fucking,
You know what? Who I just thought? Wait, did John Madden play football?
yeah.
Yeah, he had to play football, right? If
He
was
played
a coach.
football, then he was a coach.
Yeah,
And then
that's
they
crazy. I didn't even
thing.
think about Madden, but like, there's a motherfuckers who only know him as a video game. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't even-
Pretty much anybody born after like 2000, I imagine, only really knows it because he used to be on the cover of the game, right?
Yeah.
And I think they stopped that in like 2002 or 2003. So like, I bet a lot of people will just never even know what he looks like. They'll just think Madden is like the same as like hearing the word McDonald. Like it's just like
Like
that
it's
name out
NFL
there.
or NBA.
I think it was 01 with Eddie George. I think Eddie George.
Eddie
was the
George,
first-
I'm
was the
remembering
first
that too.
cover. Yeah.
Titans, Eddie George.
Yeah. Good dude. I fucked with that team, man. I still, man, RIP Steve McNair, man. Crazy.
Damn,
That
that's
team
crazy.
was-
He's dead.
Yeah, man. It sucks. But no, that was a fun ass team. Okay, so we've got our twos. You gave your two?
Yeah, Shaq.
Shaq, that's right. Shaq.
Diesel.
Shaq. Frank, the big hurt.
Who famously, and I say famously in my life, has seen me twice, and each time was like, "What's up, Walker?" And I was like, "Damn, nigga!" Like, I was like,
But you
two
do look
times,
hella much
two
like Waka
times,
Flocka though.
2 times in a row though. Like, goddamn, you could have
so
said, "What up,
Nigga,
big
he
fella?"
didn't remember the first.
No, I know he
that.
does, but I'm saying, I was like, he could have been like, "What up, big fella?" The second time, you ain't have to
Nah.
run the Waka Flocka back. I was like, "Shit, nigga."
You could, first of all, I
I'll
found this
take
about
Waka
myself.
Flocka now because he's skinny.
If I forget somebody, I almost always make the same joke the second time. It's just inherent. Like I'm like, you triggering the same part of my body, young man. You look like Waka Flocka. It's like you do look a lot like Waka Flocka. When
I
you see
still
this man
look
in the
like Waka
streets,
Flocka. I
you were
just got
same
long
height,
dreads.
weight. Have you spoken to Waka Flocka? You guys are like, it's like
I've
a
seen
fucking
Waka Flocka
mirror.
in person,
It's like
which
a
is the
goddamn
thing
mirror.
They set me off like
We're
this.
gonna make this happen. I'm gonna in the next 3 years. I'm gonna get Waka Flocka and Chris in the same room.
I don't think it's that hard to get Waka Flocka.
Well,
I don't mean like I don't.
we
mean
gonna get
like,
Waka on a pod. We
I
gonna get
bet if
Waka
you,
on the
like,
podcast. Yeah, we
You
gonna
can't
get Waka
Joe
on the
Rogan, but I bet if you DM'd Waka Flocka and said, "Hi, I'm a famous comedian running a show in LA.
I'm a
we
comedian.
need you here."
Show.
I said say famous. I didn't say the truth. It could be an easy way to get Waka Flocka.
This
in the
nigga gonna look
building.
me
At
up.
least he admitted the embellishment. I was like, okay. I was like, tell that man whatever you want to tell him.
Let me go buy 50,000 fake followers real
I was
quick.
gonna say the internet exists, nigga. You can look it up. Waka Flocka making too much money off real estate. He don't care. He not doing nothing.
Ooh, next
makes
episode,
bands
rappers
on
who are famous for something else.
funny.
That's a good one, actually. Okay, all right, and then
Chameleon
my number 2 was Dwayne The Rock Johnson. All right, Rod, who's your number 1?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's a good one.
I don't think, now I had forgotten about Shaq, but I don't think anyone in the sport of basketball has done more off the court at like a high level than Kareem. Writing articles for Rolling Stone and New York Times, standing alongside Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Jim Brown was at that same
yeah.
table. Changing his name even from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was the number 1 player in the country out of high school, but like also like the highest rated player until LeBron came around and lived up to everything on that side. Then started doing movies like Airplane and shit. Like, now don't get it twisted. Man's an asshole, but he's very, very talented at other things.
Famously a very ornery,
But like
gigantic man.
when you think about the time period that he grew up and him being who he was, I'm not mad at him being an asshole, bro. You can be an asshole, bro. Like this tall ass had like inferior white people be like, nigga, get out of here.
Well, then at least be not a dick to black people, bro.
That's so funny, bro. Rod, imagine you walking down the street with your tall ass, and this
Nigga,
man's
so you can
5
beat
foot
the
and
brakes
go,
off of niggas.
hey, nigga! Looking up at you like a little kid. Like,
Yeah. What do you think growing up in San Diego was like? Why do you think I am how I am?
That's so funny.
It's a lot of that.
That's so funny.
No, that's a great choice. And culturally, it's like, yeah, man, like he did so many different things outside of basketball. And he was on Dave. The episode of Dave.
He was on
that
Dave.
that was an interesting episode. Yeah, man, I feel like he's just a cultural icon, you know, and not just for basketball. And the man scored the most points in basketball.
Until LeBron.
Till LeBron.
Till LeBron, yes.
Held that record for a very long time.
Quick side thing. There's no way Wilt fucked that many people. It's like
There's a will, there's a way.
I broke down the math. It's impossible.
What's
bro.
the
It's
number?
impossible.
It's like 10,000.
10,000. It's a small town.
I believe.
And he didn't grow. He didn't live incredibly long, right? So he died at like 50.
He's so
something?
low.
I
Like
thought he was
mid to
60.
late 50s.
I think he was. Yeah, I think it was like he was through his 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but still not that long.
Because he was alive in the 90s.
So yeah, what math did you do? Like 40 years.
I did know. So say because of his area where he was born, right? We give him start at 15, 16. Just be nice, right?
Okay.
And then prime fucking time, right? So we go 15, 16 to like 35, right? That's when he's like, that's when you can put up the numbers that he would have to do statistically in order to reach the numbers he's talking about. He's fucking 5 people a day, every single day, minimum.
He died at 63, and he was drafted into the NBA first pick in 1959. So he was fucking, and he died in 96. So that means he was fucking from 59 to 96.
So let's say we doubled your numbers.
Maybe
You're still
57 or
talking
90.
2.5 people a day, which is insane. But I'm also picturing
Orgies.
those just a ton of like orgies every night.
In the 70s?
This is what it brings me back to. It's like, how do you define fucking? Like, did you just put your dick
Penis?
in and then take it out? Because is that what you're counting as
I
well?
think so.
Because if you're like having
If you're,
sex
if,
to
you're, if
completion
you're in an orgy
5 times a day,
if you're in an
is
orgy
insanity.
and you're having sex with, and you have sex with 4 or 5 girls at the orgy, then you had sex with, you fucked them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
you fucked?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't eat. You didn't eat. You didn't fuck, but you didn't have sex with them. You didn't
Hey,
eat
girl,
have
we
sex.
ain't fucked. I ain't come to completion.
I'm just saying, if you bragging about numbers being in the thousands,
Yeah, we can't-
I need some more semantics.
But
here.
you're picturing like also perfect like porn quality sex every time. Like some of these
Not
people
even.
got blank. Some
They gotta
got
come with
dust.
quick pumps.
Some-
Not even.
Someone's like, this for the numbers. This for the numbers. I'll go over record.
At what point did he was like, oh my God, I could actually get there.
Yeah, like the same way LeBron 7 years ago was like, if I time this out right, I could be fucking with my son, dog.
Oh my god. That's so
you
ridiculous.
You are wild.
That's not so gross. It's so insane. That's so gross. It's so insane. If that was actually his logic, and I have many homies who they say that's why LeBron is actually the GOAT, is because he is enabled to make people think he not always out here in the streets, and he famously is out here in these streets.
Yeah, I mean, all of them. Jordan is like the same thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
but Jordan's like, no shit. That man sucks. He's a very mean guy. Like, you expect him to do mean guy shit.
Mean guy.
Like, LeBron's whole image is anti that, and he's still out here being a reckless billionaire black man who is 6'9".
I'm not saying anything to disparage my homies in these streets, cuz.
Nigga, you started this whole conversation.
Wilt Chamberlain is different. He's not alive, and the number's so fantastical.
No, I'm just talking about with the fucking with his son.
You did bring that up. You did bring that up.
Wait, I did do that.
How fucking Katie is what? That's a big old titties.
I honestly think he could have got to 10,000. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, who's your number one? You gonna get my number one?
Yeah.
My number one, Magic Johnson, baby. Come on. Mine is like all kind of money. You know what I'm saying? This man with the movie theaters and this man bought the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? Like he is, as a businessman, has made so much money. It's insane. Like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars.
He's so rich he cured AIDS.
His own AIDS. He cured his own AIDS. Most selfish move in rich people history. You think Bill Gates would have just cured his own AIDS?
My shoe bag was going to be the AIDS of it all. The AIDS of it all is why he can't be number one, dog. Because I was having this conversation.
But no. That's also why he's number one. He was like the first person to be like, hey, you can live with AIDS. Like I
feel like Magic Johnson.
You just have to be rich as fuck and be Magic Johnson
has to be on the top shitty great people. Like, that nigga had AIDS and was out here wilding. Did you ever watch the interview where he was like, sometimes a woman just give you the eye and you just gotta do what you gotta do. And he's like,
you watch any interview from any famous sports person in the 80s, it's like Chris Collins, the fucking commentator. Have you seen his interview from 1986? He's like, the ladies, they give you the eye, and you could just like take them home. It's easy. It's not even like hard. Like I just like fucking. I'm just like, what are you, Chris Collins? This is such a departure.
He was ahead of his time with the podcast.
I don't know, yeah, I feel like that has to be called into account as well because he did only cure his own AIDS.
Well, he became a big advocate, improved and changed the narrative
if
on
he
AIDS.
No longer has AIDS, why niggas still dying? He has AIDS.
People aren't dying from AIDS anymore. They're dying of AIDS. They're not dying of HIV, which I believe he has.
Yeah, HIV. He has HIV. He has HIV.
You can take PrEP and all that. I understand.
But he was like 10 years ahead of
that's what I'm saying,
anybody
bro.
else. It's like such a wide
gap. It was a huge gap that he fucking got better before everybody else.
But he's also known for that and
in the middle of people dying
and the awareness of it.
He might be a vampire, dog. The gap is too wide.
It's huge.
We don't know how this man is alive.
It's huge.
No one has ever said out loud why.
In the dead center of people dying from that disease, he was
playing basketball games,
hooping.
Freddie Mercury can barely fucking sing, and this dude's out here.
That was 95. That was 95.
92 Olympics, my G.
Bro, he was out here still when he had it, sir. Yeah, stop. No, first of all, also, nigga, you know how easy it is to bleed and play basketball? How dare you dickhead? Like, I get cut all the time playing basketball.
He didn't know he had it. He just like, damn, I feel sluggish.
Oh, my God.
I got to hit 10,000, though. My man out here already hit the number.
Hey,
I'm trying to fuck with my son too,
and I think you guys are proving my point.
He is. He for sure.
I think too far.
Oh, now it's too far.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Let the record show. I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Well, you did.
I did not partake in any of this. I did not partake in any of this.
No, I said my jokes.
He is my number one, Magic Johnson.
That's actually a good one. That makes sense.
Yeah, you just talked about this nigga having HIV the whole time. You say one goddamn thing about basketball.
The Imagine Theater, which is in Michigan, is the famous thing in Michigan at Magic Johnson's and Joe Dumars Arena. My number one, I was going to also say Jim Brown, but then I researched it. And the only reason I didn't say Jim Brown because there would be no Dwayne Johnson, there would be no Jim Brown, there would be no insert any black Kareem, no black person doing entertainment from sports if there wasn't for Woody Strode. He played football at UCLA with Jackie Robinson and Kenny Washington, right? So he's the first person, one of the first black people in the NFL. He served in World War II. Okay, he was out here he was a decathlete. He jumped, his broad jump was like he had shot put of 50 feet and the record was 57. He did a high jump of 6'5", the record was 6'10". This man's a freak of nature athlete. And then after he came back from World War II, he started acting and he was in all these crazy ass movies. Most notably, he was in what's the movie? They Stand Up. Spartacus. He won.
That's not how I would describe Spartacus.
He almost won a Best Supporting Actor. Like he got nominated.
Okay,
like
that's
so
right.
many other athletes did not get nominated.
What's his name again?
Woody Strode.
Okay, because I don't even know who this thing is.
Yeah.
How can I know
I ain't seen shit, bro. I'm out here listening, my guy.
No. I mean, it's a great choice. I don't know who this nigga is, but I'm probably way too. I mean, is an old nigga that they didn't teach us about.
I do know that they named Steamboat Willie after him.
Yo, Chris is so bad. Okay. Well, no. This is a very informative pick.
Anyway, he acted in 91 roles. Okay. Right. He was in the Italian Connection, and he was the first black man out here getting paid. Granted, the first couple roles were real Steamboat Willie-ish. Okay? he was a lot of native cowboys and jungle mans and a lot of these fucking shits. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
And what time? It was like the 50s?
Yeah, he's 50, so he's like pre everything.
They were like
Spartacus was 1960, and he did roles he did like 15 roles in the 50s, and it's like, come on, bro.
They were like, we losing too much time painting these faces.
It was a strictly financial decision. We can hire a Negro for half, or we can pay a white person double.
We gotta pay
and
somebody
their
to paint these faces, and it's taking up time.
Blackface really only subsided due to financial reasons. The balance sheets were everything.
Yo, that's a funny sketch. It's like the first man to hire a black man on screen. Well, really, it wasn't. I didn't give a fuck about it.
He said, look, I don't like niggas, but putting the face paint on, that's an extra 3 hours of the show.
I don't like niggas, but I do like money.
I'm money before I'm racist, but I am racist still.
I'm actually just a very specific filmmaker. I need a look. But the paint is just not giving me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't get
the right
a real
Negro in here or cut the production.
Okay, but yes.
Right, who's your number one?
I already said.
You said
I think that. Oh no, we all said it. Yeah, Kareem.
Oh, Kareem does. I'm tripping. All right. So we got Kareem. We got
Woody Strode.
Woody Strode, and Magic Johnson.
Yes.
So those are our number ones. All right, now we got it. I feel like this is gonna be tough.
We got to debate the three.
Our first episode, we got to the top three very easily.
Yeah.
I don't know
more
how
of a consensus. This one we have to, I guess, debate the merits of all three, so we can do our top three. So we can start at the bottom again, go back up.
I mean, George Foreman, I feel like, we talked about it. I feel like Ryan Lochte got to be X'd out. He got to be X'd out.
I agree.
He got to be X'd out.
We're tossing Ryan Lochte out of here.
Get that nigga out of here, bro.
Shut the fuck out of here. That was a joke answer anyway.
I really thought you were going to be like, Ryan Lochte, got to give it to you. You said got to be X'd out.
Get this fuck out of here.
Get this nigga out of here. Just like you got kicked out of Olympic Village, nigga, get that nigga
out of here,
Get
the fuck out of here.
No. I feel like number three, I like Tim Horton. I think Tim, because I didn't even know this nigga was a hockey player.
Yeah.
Like that. So, I mean, and I also do like George Foreman, though, even though he's my choice.
I was just, George Foreman grill is big, but Tim Hortons is
huge. It's huge, yeah.
It's like it's the donut shop of Canada.
Yeah.
And it's like
there is no other donut shop.
That's what I'm saying.
Like pretty much. There's not just like random donut shops. It's just Tim Hortons.
It's the donut shop of Canada, and also their breakfast sandwiches, fire. Elite.
I don't think I've ever had anything.
Detroit is connected to Canada through Windsor, and my dad had a girlfriend in
there you
Canada.
go.
And so we used to go to Tim Hortons all the time.
All right, so we go Tim Hortons.
I'll allow Tim Hortons. I think Ryan Lochte deserved a second look, but that's fine.
Wrong. No, he didn't.
Nigga, show me the scar. Show me the scar, baby, and I'll give you Ryan Lochte.
Ryan Lochte.
Number two, we had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We had
Shaquille O'Neal
and Frank Thomas.
Shaq Diesel.
This is tough.
This is gonna be the hardest one.
I feel like two of these people could maybe be 2 and 1. Because I feel like I don't know about. I mean, Kareem could also be I mean,
Kareem's number one. So it's Frank Thomas, Shaq, and
yeah, but I might think Kareem should be too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, you think he should be on the list regardless?
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think.
So
I
you're
feel
saying
like,
our number ones are fighting each other?
I feel like I don't know. I don't think our number ones should even be counted in maybe the number one. I feel like I don't know. It's just I feel weird like now leaving Shaq out. I feel like Shaq and The Rock should be in there. But
That was the part that I couldn't. For every idea that I gave any of the other people I was going to pick, my 1 and 2, I had to give more. Yeah. Because Shaq does them as well, but also
I'm gonna tell you right now, your number one, I feel like don't even need to be in the top 3.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I don't understand your logic in that.
Because I don't know who the nigga is.
But okay, but your same reason why you said you were gonna pick Jim Brown.
But it's like no.
Well, the same reason you picked Dwayne Johnson is there's not that nigga if this nigga doesn't do it.
True.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I guess like realistically, like how far back are we going? Like, who's the first thespian to pick up a ball? Like, if we don't know it, does it matter? As far as this conversation,
I feel like yes, in terms of you can't play football or act. Both of these things he made allowable. Like niggas weren't playing football and niggas weren't acting if he didn't do either of those things.
Right, but like James Naismith
but also,
was
that's
a doctor.
number one. That's not right now. That's not right now. We're on number 2.
The logic though. James Naismith was a doctor first, and then he invented basketball. Should he get credit for everybody we named who played basketball?
No, that's making it. That's not playing in it. And
he played it. He invented it. For a while, he was the best player in the world at it.
All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when we get to number 1. Now it's number 2. Who is doing number 2?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you though. When we talk about number 1, I might talk about somebody number 2 who could be at number 1. So number 2 is, I mean, I feel like it's really. I'm sorry, Frank.
Because it's Ryan's spot.
This is a tough one between Shaq and The Rock. Because The Rock really is more like, it kind of like makes sense to go from wrestling to acting. You know? Like maybe not necessarily, transition. Not saying that all wrestlers can be actors.
Most of them.
But it makes sense if you're like the best wrestler that you could be an actor.
He's definitely the biggest one in the
There's a theatrical element. There's a large theatrical element to wrestling.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a large physical that you have to be an athlete. You can't just be some bum off the street to wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Your shit gets fucked up. So, but I feel like just Shaquille O'Neal and his just like the variety.
That's my argument for Shaq. It's the range of things.
Right. Like, let's call Shaq doing like a million things at like at best, like a 5 out of 10 level.
Yeah.
And The Rock doing like 6 things, but like 8, 9 out of 10 level. Do we value the level at which The Rock is doing
like,
it?
The
or
Rock is the highest
breadth of the things that
actor
Shaq is
in
doing?
Hollywood.
Well, then I would argue that it's.
And he also
like
owns
if
a
Shaq had
football.
the number one
less
record in the
than
country,
6.
it would be even. And like if Shaq had the number 1 record right now, that's like equivalent to what Dwayne is
Like
doing in film.
acting.
Right? Like he's number 1. Like his movies not only do numbers, he's paid like it.
Also, The Rock did drop that rap track, so he rapping too.
Did he drop a rap track?
No, he was on Wyclef's song. It doesn't matter. He didn't rap on it. Yeah.
That was
you talking about the go hard Jim?
Yeah, that's his.
Shaq's.
I got cream, I got fruit, I got this. You ain't heard that?
No,
it came out. It came like a couple months ago.
You gotta put a 30-second snippet of that at the end of this.
All right, cool.
It's white dudes working out music.
Yeah. Specifically, it was more of a joke, but it happened. Yeah. It happened.
I mean, the Shaq did that, and he did music very well.
All I'm saying is, I feel like
he did just not as well as Dwayne is doing.
I feel like there's a large argument for
like
Shaq at number 1.
I will hear that. I will also, but this is my argument for. Okay, so this is. I understand what you're saying. The logic of he does it to X level.
Yeah.
But to what Leonard is saying, he did a natural transition to something that makes sense. Like wrestling is acting. Like, and he is continuing on to be The Rock. It's
but he
still
also
The Rock.
owns a football. He
charismatic.
owns a
huge
football.
When he brought up that he played at the U and stuff like that first, right? So if anything, now we're saying he's done 2 different sports,
football
at a very high level.
True.
And then did everything else he's done at a very high level.
He has a television show. He owns a football league. Like,
but I think Shaq. You can argue the same things for Shaq. And I don't think his level is a 5. I think his level is above a 5.
I personally think The Rock is 2 and Shaq is 1.
Okay, I can.
And I feel like the more argument for 2 is it Kareem or is it The Rock? For me, I think Shaq should be 1, and either Kareem or The Rock at 2, and then 3 is
Tim Horton.
Tim Horton.
Well, then I guess what's your argument against?
I I love everything Shaq has done. The Kareem element for me, and why I had him number one in general, although I did forget about Shaq, I still rate him ahead.
So you put Kareem
because
at
of
one.
the social stuff that Shaq has just never done. In terms of, like I said, marching and taking risks with his career in a way that, only really the guys back then could do.
Hey, he told Kobe to eat his ass.
Kobe, how my ass taste.
Tell me how my ass tastes.
Okay, so you think Kareem won?
I'm okay putting Shaq at 2. If we
Do you
can
think
reorder,
Tim Horton shouldn't be 3?
if we're gonna reorder everybody's
Yeah,
things, I would go Kareem, Shaq, The Rock at 3.
Okay.
Tim Horton's built one big thing that is the thing in Canada, but do we care what happens in Canada? Really?
I mean,
really? There's no black people in
That's the
Canada.
most extreme version of the Rock argument, though.
There's
It's
no
like,
black people in Canada.
okay, we didn't say if they had to be black.
I'm saying that.
We said athletes doing
why
something
do we,
else.
the 3 of us, specifically us 3, give that much shit about Tim Hortons over the things that The Rock has built? And that's what I'm saying. Like, for this room, I got to drop Tim Hortons down. For like the room of the earth, sure, I could bump him up higher, but that's not. This is our top 3.
I like that list. For me, I think I would go Shaq, Kareem, The Rock.
I can take that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I was really hoping you would have been like, I have depression.
So wait, is that our 3?
Nigga, I got depression.
Shaq, Kareem, The Rock? Is that the consensus?
I mean, it's 2-1. I take Kareem over Shaq, but if it's 2-1, I'm allowing it 1, 2, 3 in that order.
I'll take that because the only reason I will push back on that and give it more to Shaq being number 1 is Shaq didn't really come up in the time to do that. Like,
he didn't have the opportunity to be there first.
Like, I feel like with how much he has done and his whole ethos of why he does his businesses, he would have done that.
He was.
He does his version of helping.
He was
that
the first basketball player to have a rap album that did well.
He did a whole lot of opening doors thinking. He goes out of his way to help people who do not have money.
There were a lot of things that Shaq could have participated in the early 90s, mid 90s,
but it's not the same level. It's not the same level as being the level that Kareem was in the 60s, which is the most turbulent time that all of this
what I'm saying is
happening.
If you're trying to project, would Shaq have been like, there was only 2 NBA guys who took on that mantle. It was Bill Russell and it was Kareem. Kareem changed his name fully because of his connection to Malcolm X. There was, 200 other NBA players, some with bigger names, who did not do this thing and continue to not do it, especially like when Vietnam War happened and all these things that people conscientiously objected. Like, I don't remember Dr. J saying shit. I can't sit here and say for a fact that Shaq would go back and be this different person. There were activists of Shaq's time that I fully believe would have been that person. Maybe we would hype them up more now had they grown up in that time.
Nah, if you know Shaq's background, he came from like a military family and like a policeman.
Shaq has never once, in my estimation, risked his money. And I don't mean that everyone has to. Yeah. But that's a big deal.
That's why Kareem is your number 1.
He risked kind of everything like, there are some white people today, because I just know more basketball people, who like refuse to call him Kareem. Just call him Lou Alcindor. So I'm not saying I won this.
Still.
Yeah. Because that's like that. I don't like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Lou Alcindor, that guy from UCLA, that man could play. It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Nah, that's some bullshit. But again, I'm okay putting him second. I just don't want to give Shaq credit for something that you have no idea what a man does when they are in that position. And I have to give credit to the people who actually did do it, whether they were in it at the right time or not.
I wasn't even given that math of like, if he could have, he would have. I'm simply saying Kareem has the benefit of that time being the most. We have to do something, and like, yes, he did have the courage to do it. It makes sense, but on the argument of athletes that did something else, I think the amount of something else Shaq has done to the level that Shaq has done it is why I had to pick.
No, I get it. I'm not even mad at that. I just didn't like that comparison, but everything else I'm not mad at.
But I mean, even with Kareem, it kind of is the moment of time. It's like, if you were at the top of your game, you kind of had to, because Jim Brown was doing it, Muhammad Ali was doing it. It was like, they were like, nigga, we have to do this.
What you're saying that, but you're not thinking about all the athletes who didn't do it. Because there's a fuckload.
True.
There was like 7 athletes who did across like 5 different sports. is basically like the best in each sport.
Yeah.
And I would also argue Kareem didn't just do it. Again, he changed his whole name and persona and the way he lived his life to follow along with Farrakhan's teachings, which are not Farrakhan, Malcolm X's teachings. So there's a lot of moving parts here, but I know we're running out of time. I
Any
got to
nigga that
give him
changed
that
his
credit.
name is gonna be activist, bro. At the end of the day,
Yeah, we got to put him in the top 3.
But we are low on time.
The top 3 athletes known and for doing other things is Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Ryan
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Boom, boom.
boom.
Scorpion King is a fire.
Ryan Lochte somewhere in the top 10.
No, he's not.
He's floating
No,
around.
he's fucking not. No, he's
All
not.
right, thank you for watching.